Hey everyone, Koyo here. So I am back with a new, with a new video. This time an impressions video on Glass Hearts. I was recently contacted by Adian Glare, who is the developer of Glass Hearts, which was made by two people who love BL, just two people. And they asked that I share a playthrough, review, or even stream it with others, and I've decided I'll do an impressions video because that's what I could do with the time I have now. And considering that this is the full game, yeah, I could do a review of it later. So with that in mind, just another thing I'll put out there for those who have photosensitivity or any sensitivity to flashing colors. Do keep in mind that will come up just for the opening of this game. I'll try to remember to call that out. And then on another note, I noticed this game was on Steam, and it hasn't really been, I don't see any activity in the discussions. I don't see any prior reviews for it or anything. So let's get this game the support that it needs. It's a BL game by two indie developers, and I really support that, and I love to see new developers just coming into the BL scene and putting out some great visual novels. I love that, or even video games. That's just always great overall. So let's see what their vision is. And I guess, what is it? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice this where I was just playing with the menu there. That's cute. Also, we have the main character who is just kind of waking up in between sleep. Let's play the game though. All right. So this is a work of fiction. Places, names, characters, businesses, events, and incidents are the products of the author's imagination. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. Now, just another little warning to keep in mind. This is apparently a psychological thriller, I believe the tag said on Steam. Psychological horror. So there were some other warnings on the Steam page for this game. And essentially, though, I didn't want to spoil myself too much on anything, I guess. I don't expect to see anything like dramatical murder here, So, I mean, then again, it's not imagery that bothers me, it's words. So, I guess while I'm doing this playthrough, I'll just have to keep in mind, YouTube and whatnot. This will be an impressions video, right? But partial nudity from the waist up. That is no problem whatsoever. That is just the waist up. Infrequent depictions of blood. Descriptions of consensual sex, non-explicit sexual assault, sexual harassment, violence, and drug use. Delivering drugs by force. So, I am not sure about descriptions with YouTube. So, I will probably, if said thing might come up, then, and if it comes up on the first parts of this, which I don't think that'll happen too soon, hopefully, because then I'd already have to do some skipping, but I will just kind of skip over it. And hey, that's some encouragement to check out the game, support it, right? All right. So already I just, because this is an impressions video, right? I'm giving my review as I'm playing the beginning of the game, and then later I'll be able to go into more depth, but looking at the background, this is really colorful right here. We have a very grungy type of art style, something that feels dark still. Even with all this color, there is something very dark about it beyond just the shading. And I think it's because certain details are muddied over in a specific way. It's a water paint kind of style, so can attribute to a darker look depending on how it's done, in which this case it works pretty well here. Police radio. Victim was identified as Hu Zhen, a primary school teacher in the city of Due to the various wounds on the body that were delivered in 2 intervals of time, we are led to believe that the victim was attacked twice, the second time resulting in the death. The suspect has been arrested and is currently being transported to the Central Community Police Station where he is being questioned, his physical and mental state assessed. Over. All right, so looks like we are getting interrogated by a detective. I mean, you have the chair, you have the lights, you know, the classic interrogation scene, right? It is stated in our records that you have some issues with your relatives. Is that correct, Mr. Song? Yes. We believe that you were the one to attack the victim around 22:05 that evening, right behind the Daly's convenience store. Am I wrong? No. The detective nodded and wrote something down in his notebook. The area behind the store is a dead end with no light, the passage obstructed by 2 dumpsters. A perfect place for an assault, if you ask me. Why did you do it? Answer the question. I saw him pulling a little girl towards the dumpsters. I had a feeling something wasn't right. The detective pen tapped the tip of his ball pen against his notebook. A little girl, you say? What was a little girl doing after 10 p.m. near a convenience store? I don't know. Let me tell you, Mr. Song, nothing, because there was no such person there. We have the entire footage from the store's security camera. It monitors the inside and the outside. The girl was there at that hour. The camera would have caught her. It didn't. That's impossible. I saw. Suppose I believe you and there really was a child. What did you see exactly? Mr. Hu dragged her behind the dumpster where his body was found. No, I intervened before he had the chance to. So you couldn't be sure that his intention was what you thought it was. What could have it been? What else than what it looked like? Mr. Hu was a school teacher with 20 years of experience, Mr. Song. He was well respected and loved in his neighborhood. We got testimonies from several families whose children were under Mr. Hu's care, and no one reported anything that could suggest that Mr. Hu had improper intentions towards his wards. That was precisely what we had expected, of course. But giving you the benefit of the doubt, we had to investigate even the most incredulous possibility. Detective Penn frowned, his fingers squeezing the ball pen with crushing strength. He leaned in. He was a man filled with a sense of duty, passion, and charity, something the likes of you could never understand. Mr. Hu lived in peace with his neighbors, loved by his students, highly praised by the local priest as an active and dedicated parishioner. He would always find time to spread the word of God and help those in need. And then, sorry, I just wanted to talk about the background. This, like I said, this is a really interesting style. This image here is like when you take the, is when you apply negativity or take out the negativity from an image. I forgot what that was called, that specific thing I'm talking about. But it really works here. It's a really nice look. You beat him up in the dark alley, Mr. Song. Beat him up really badly, even though the man did nothing to you. What I don't understand is, why did you come back to kill him? Why not leave things as they were after you've had your share of mindless violence? So, flashing warning, flash. There's photosensitivity peoples. It's gonna be some, light flashing colors, kind of the, like a television, like, glitchy kind of thing, like you see in the movies. So, this text will be later repeated. I think this text is later repeated in the next scene, but if you read that, there you go. But you see what I mean by it's like the red, green, yellow kind of flashing color thing. So I don't know if a warning should be added for the flashing colors on the intro. I want to assume this only happens with the intro because that's what this is. But looks like we have some, we're kind of getting our characters here, kind of getting a look at who I guess might be potential BL interests, maybe? All right, we're just getting a quick read on that. I think we're even getting little quotes from them that we'll see in the, as we play. Wow, oh my gosh, he's pretty. That is a pretty character. Glass hearts. All right. I'm curious about how the meaning of the name plays into the story and the characters. Long River Psychiatric Hospital. So let's take a look at the background again. Once again, we have a very interesting take here. A very interesting take. I feel like each scene is its own take on something. It represents something. We saw a lot of colors earlier. Then we saw, of course, the typical interrogation scene. It was completely dark, which being interrogated does not have to be done in a dark room. It could be done in, like the typical one-way mirror, or two-way mirror. I forgot, the little mirror type room with the, it's usually like a teal or a gray colored room with a table. Here we have, just the only thing that's highlighted here is brown all of a sudden. And we have everything else in black and white, or gray, however you want to put that. Even outside, it's all sketched. The only thing that's truly detailed is the wood. Like you could actually make out like, oh, hey, look, this wood has like little, cracks in it, stuff like that. So he goes, Mr. Song. Mr. Song, I'm speaking to you. Wait, no. I want to... Mr. Song. Mr. Song, I am speaking to you. A little distracted, I see. That's quite fine. Many experience a certain dose of uneasiness when they are freshly admitted. Do you understand why you are here, Mr. Song? Tap, tap. No, I imagine he has a ball pen just like the director, and he's like tapping it on the table or the desk. The pen stops. Okay, it is. You are here because we believe in change. We believe that deep inside, what you did was dictated by something that could have been contained. I didn't do it. But every change begins with awareness. Yeah, see, this is the words from the intro. Begins with awareness. If we do not face what we did, if we cannot admit to our own deeds, how can we change? How can we begin to improve? I hit the guy, that's true. He deserved it. I would have done it all over again if I had to, as many times as it took for the lesson to sink in. A lesson cannot be taught to those who departed from this world, Mr. Song, and you made sure that Mr. Who did. Are you listening to me at all, Director? I didn't... I saw the police reports, Mr. Song. I've read through them several times. I believe that you believe what you testified to be true. I do not question that. It must have sickened you to think you saw Mr. Who with the little girl. Most of us would react the same way, wanting to protect an innocent soul. It's a natural reaction. Unfortunately, your judgment is clouded by your unfortunate circumstances, Mr. Song, and we are here to make it better. The first step is to understand that. Tap, tap. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. Let's talk about the rules that we'll need you to follow from now on, shall we? I tried my best to do that impression. Some of you might recognize it, some of you might not, but that's all right. I'll let people guess in the comments what I was trying to do the impression for. When Kai stepped out of the medical... Okay. Everyone look. Everyone just pay attention for a moment. Once again, look at what's highlighted this time. This time it's the blue. We have the tiles over there in blue with... I don't know if that's a jellyfish or something over there on the left. Painted onto the tiles. We have a blue clock, or a blue rimmed clock, and we have a blue television? is that a TV up there? And then even looks like there's a package right there in the middle that's blue, and then something up in the top left that's also blue. Like I said, I feel like there's a statement that is being made with each picture, and I wonder what it represents. Of course, this time I think with the previous scene, with the fact that the wood was highlighted, it not represents, but rather, kind of highlights that the director was tapping the wood, knock on wood, right? When Kai stepped out of the medical director's office after his very first briefing, he already felt mentally exhausted. It started dawning on him slowly just what kind of place it was, and even though he didn't know what he was expecting prior to getting admitted, still somehow took him by surprise. Let's also listen to the music. I'm giving my impressions, and it's like, this gives a cold feeling, which, like I said, you know, it matches with what's going on here. When I think cold, I think blue, right? So everything's kind of working in syncopation, synchronicity. I don't know what words I'm using, don't worry. Despite being one of the oldest mental institutions in the county, the Long River Hospital wore its signs of age with grace. The paint on the wall seemed freshened up, and so did the countertops on the reception in the information desk. The majority of doors seemed to be replaced with designs undoubtedly more modern than whatever was in their place before, even to the point of equipping those that led to the more important offices with lit-up informational plates. In general, the place seemed well put together as a facility, which Kai guessed made it at least much better than a prison he'd otherwise land in. Oh, and another note, being that, you know, I'm giving my impressions, I think since this is the full game, I feel like maybe, did I mention this? Maybe I didn't. Since this is the full game, I'll have to like play through it whenever I have time between my insanely busy schedule. Not looking forward to this week, but yeah, I guess it's been like years since I've ever made a review on anything, any video game of any kind. That was on my previous old channel, Casual Combos. So I have no confidence in making video reviews, but even putting the word out here like this with an impressions video, I think, you know, I'm hoping will help, but I should definitely do more videos on this if I can. If not that, even a review on Steam or when I, you know, get through it. And apparently, I mean, I could stream this with others, so it must be safe enough to stream on things like Twitch, I imagine. So, yeah. In general, the place seemed well lit and put together as a facility, which Kai guessed made it at least much better than a prison he'd otherwise land in. Though his cell phone and earphones were put in the staff locker, to be returned when he is discharged from the hospital. Ah, very much like a prison in this regard. Yeah, no joke there. Welcome, Mr. The nurse glanced briefly at the file he carried on top of a bunch of other papers. Song Kai. You can call me Chen. I am a nurse that will be taking care of you from now on. To make sure that we stay on good terms, you'll do well listening to my instructions at all times. That man sure is bossy. Are we clear? Yeah, sure. The nurse glared at him pointedly, then clicked his tongue. I'll take you to your room now, so please make sure to follow and remember the way. It seemed like they were walking for several minutes, and Kai realized that he failed to judge just how huge the building was from its exterior alone. The maze of corridors was never-ending and narrowing, and then opening into several huge passages, and then narrowing again. Okay, so once again, watchers, viewers, let's take a look at this background, because there are things. Oh wait, I opened up these. Oh, right-click opens up save. Okay, that's convenient. Then how do I clear screen? I'm always like, every BL game I play, how do I clear screen? How do I hide the screen? If it's not C, I'm not sure which, and I don't want to add. Well, I saved, so we'll be fine. Me. Oh, what did I do? Okay. Okay, so tab and control, like, fast forward or something. Wait, whoa, that went, okay. Okay, it seemed like we were walking for several minutes, and Kai realized they failed to judge how huge the building was from its exterior alone. The maze of the corridors was never ending, narrowing, and then opening into several huge passages, and then narrowing again. It was mostly quiet, with a couple of staff members walking here and there, and busy with their tasks and not paying them any attention. Nurse Chen explained that patients had to stay in their rooms at all times besides the leisure hours. But yeah, so to take a look at which were from 1 to 4 p.m., and that the hospital wasn't very crowded otherwise. But yeah, This has a lot more color on it now all of a sudden. We actually have certain colors being highlighted, like for example, that these are not just, it's not entirely black and white. It's more towards the bottom this time around, but we can also see that there's like a cream color to these walls here and there. And then you have the brown of the stairs, the darker shade that's highlighting I think those are little light switches there. And then, somewhere off to the right, we don't know what's over there, and it's just kind of fuzzies out, probably because it's not important to the character. But interesting that this one has a lot more color going on. Unlike most hospitals, in Long River, every nurse is designated to a couple of patients that we take care of daily. In my case, it's 5 patients total, including you and your roommate. So I'll have a roommate? Almost like a dorm. Kai thought to himself before an unexpected noise caught his attention. His gaze drifted toward the end of the corridor, where an aggressive patient had landed a punch on one of the nurses and got restrained by 2 burly guards a second later. Oh my. Yes, the director decided that he'll be placed in Moyu's room, thinking that some company will do him well. Noticing Kai staring, Chen clicked his tongue again and raised his voice. I hope for your sake you'll behave yourself. Moyu is a very good boy, and I wouldn't have anyone ruin all the hard work we poured into making him better. Well, we'll see what your hard work pays off to be. The Long River was sectioned into 2 separate single-sex wards, male and female. From what Kai had been told, there were only adults. Good boy. Why the heck would he call a grown-up man that? Yeah, that's why I'm like, we'll see about that, because They continued walking in silence after that exchange, and truthfully, Kai was glad for a moment of peace. He already disliked the tone of Chen's voice. Yeah, I don't blame him. We're here. This part of the hospital was different from what Kai had seen so far, with rows of doors leading to what seemed like a number of small rooms. Not very inviting, if he was to be honest. So, once again, let's take a look at the background. We have... This time it's in yellow. It's kind of like this very slightly putrid color. It doesn't feel so welcoming, dare I say. Not exactly a calming color. Your room is over there, to the left, number 57. I just nodded. Even though the nurse was addressing him, it didn't really feel like the man was talking to him at all. His voice almost robotic, monotone, and clearly impatient to be done with the tour. After a brief pause, he took a bunch of keys out of his pocket and slid one of them into the keyhole of room 57. As soon as the door had opened, Kai was greeted with the sight of a bland room with not much color to it. Surely enough, it had 2 beds, although he suspected that the staff placed the second one there recently. A small wardrobe and a few shelves. Let's see. So taking in this background, we have like a leopard print over there on the back on that bed. The walls are just, as he said, bland. Yeah, this is definitely very bland. I can very much agree. The precise schedule of your day is yet to be determined, but usually your medicine will be administered in the mornings and, if needed, in the evenings. Between therapy sessions, medical checkups, and other activities, there is a general leisure time for every patient that starts at 1 p.m. Other than that, you'll mostly be here. You'll be mostly here. Which is how is being in this room for so long, like, I mean, once again, it's like, I guess kind of a prison at the same time, but it's like, how is that helping anybody? In the far corner of the tiny room, I mean, oh, is it possibly meditational or something? And then, oh, those 3 hours you're out for, suddenly you're more attentive because the room is so bland, you become so bored, so disciplined in nothingness that suddenly accepting information is far easier. It's just, I don't know. I really don't know about it. I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish here. In the far corner of the tiny room, sitting on his bed motionlessly, okay, there's a problem, was a slender man that had to be Moyu. Kai didn't miss how the nurse's eyes rested on his roommate, even as Kai was the one he was talking to. Moyu didn't acknowledge either of them in any way. It was difficult to determine whether he was even aware that the door had opened and someone was in the room with him, staring at his lap without blinking. Still like a statue. Yeah, that is... Did that all the work you did with him? I don't know. I think you undid a lot. The nurse cleared his throat. Any questions? Okay, let's make a save. This is a perfect... There's so... I mean, I'm sure these are all just questions, but... Yeah, can we close the door? After a quick examination, it seemed like the only way to lock the door from was the outside. If the staff had keys and they didn't, it would mean that Kai and Moyu had no control over whether someone was able to enter the room or not, even at night. Still, it wouldn't hurt to ask and make sure. Can we close the door from the inside if we need to? The nurse snorted. Why would you need to? Privacy? Only the staff is qualified to lock the room doors. So, can I at least leave the room anytime I want? You can go out to use the toilet or take a shower. Wandering in the hospital is strictly prohibited. Anything else? What can I do during leisure time? What would we do during leisure time? To his surprise, instead of replying, the nurse addressed his roommate. What? What do we do during leisure time, Moyu? Tell your new friend. The change in his expression. What the heck? Why? Unsurprisingly, the man didn't react. The nurse clearly prepared for that. Took a few steps toward him, repeating the question. Oh no. What happens during playtime, Moyu? His voice was high and cooing. Oh my god. Wait, so what happens during playtime, Moyu? His voice was high and cooing. Did I say his voice? I don't know what I said. As if Moyu was mentally a child and needed to be addressed in a similar way to understand. The thought occurred to Kai that perhaps that was really the case. He had never been in a mental institution before, but his previous doctor tried to prepare him for what was to come. There were all sorts of individuals locked in such places, not only those who simply needed medical assistance to recover, but also violent criminals and patients who could barely remember their own names and were unlikely to make any recovery at all. I tried not to think about how living among other patients would affect him in the long run. When the nurse was standing right next to Moyu's bed, having him within an arm's reach, the silent man shifted on the sheets, although otherwise made no attempt to move. At least he's not dead, Kai thought. Rest. It was almost strange to hear him speak. The man's voice was... Oh, so he'd be like, rest. Oh no. The man's voice was melodious and pleasant to the ear. Not too high, not too low. What else? Eat? Watch TV? Oh. Such a soothing voice. That was not my most soothing voice. I'm sorry. Such a soothing voice. Good boy. That's right. We have lunch in the cafeteria, then go to a common area to relax. Maybe watch a movie or read a magazine, have a chat with friends. After that, you go back to your rooms to rest. Any other questions? Who plans my day? Understand that the schedule for each patient is rigid. Who plans it? Since you don't have your lead psychiatrist appointed yet, yours was listed by the medical director himself. Once the therapy starts, your doctor may change your calendar accordingly. So I have no say in it? Nurse Chen gives Kai a strange look, ignoring the question. Seems like you're ready to settle in. As I said, I will come by tomorrow morning. Okay, so I don't think, but yeah, that's all. No questions. Well then, it seems like you're ready to settle in. As I said, I'll come back tomorrow morning. Without as much as sparing him another glance, the nurse closed the doors shut, drowning the room in an awful silence. That's it, huh? The belongings still haven't arrived from the police station, and there's nothing interesting in this room, not even a book to read. Wonder what I should do now. I mean, I guess we could talk to Moyu. Like, let's see what's up, right? Reluctantly, Kai settled on the free bed, taking in his surroundings for a while before refocusing his attention on Moyu. Hey. Nothing. Not even a flutter of those inky, fan-like eyelashes. As Kai was taking in his features, unbothered by the man ignoring him, he couldn't help but notice that not only Moyu's voice was worth attention. Gosh, that guy was pretty. Yeah, he is pretty. What was someone with his looks doing in such a place? Not like looks alone are an indication of anything, but still. Your name is Moyu, right? The room was so small and their beds so close that it was impossible not to see just how big his eyes were. How shapely the slightly slanted slope of his nose. That is a fun play on words. Slightly slanted slope. You know, like that's actually really good writing. But what really stood out, at least to Kai, was the man's lips, thick, pouty, and naturally tinted red, like something straight out of a movie or lipstick commercial. Moyu was a really, really pretty man. He kept his hands in his lap neatly, fingers intertwined. Even though he seemed relaxed on the surface, I could see the way his knuckles paled. Guess you're not very talkative, huh? I can take that. It's better to be in a room with a quiet guy than one who never stops talking, I thought as he lay down on the bed, closing his eyes. It was still another day to try to coax a reaction from his very reserved, shy roommate. Soon after, a blissful unconscious washed over him. Uh-oh, well, what do we have here? What did the psychiatrist say? You're not sick, are you? He's our son, of course he's fine. He's not crazy. I'm sure it was all a misunderstanding. The doctor confirmed it, yes? Kai? Say something. Answer your mother, son. Kai. 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 That interesting background with all the masks there makes me wonder what, you know, like, once again, I feel like these these backgrounds have a lot of meaning behind them. And here we have, once again, like, I wish I could clear the screen, but there is one blue thing that no, two. Well, not really. This one's more of just a gray, dark gray, but we do have a blue standing out over there to the right. And then it's fully white. I think this is actually how the room might be, but it's hard to tell. Just like he was told yesterday. And I like the mirror reflection. That is drawn so beautifully, especially for a tiled mirror. First thing in the morning, Kai was taken to an examination room to have his, it's definitely purposely white. To have his blood pressure, patellar reflex, and the visual acuity checked. They've also done his chest X-ray and taken a blood and urine sample. Okay, so the reason to take a blood and urine sample, or do any of these tests, blood pressure, is because you'd want to. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to bump my mic. Is because there's a lot of labs that are done from just getting one's blood and urine alone, from if there's any proteins or anything flowing in the blood, the blood glucose. There's a lot that you could really get to check if a person's healthy and see if any medicines need to be prescribed and whatnot. So that it could be like, oh, hey, he might have hypertension or hypotension, which is a high blood pressure or low blood pressure, and there are medicines for that. I'm just suddenly going into medical stuff. I'm sorry. Let's get away from my life and go to this. He wasn't the only one who underwent the examination. Several other patients, varying in age, were also put through the same process as he was. Kai guessed that they were all newcomers like himself, the hospital gathering some basic data for their medical records. Exactly. One of the men was much different than the others. Thinner, smaller in build. Did they mean smaller in build? With a D, visibly younger, very young, now that Kai could get a closer look at his face. Oh, shoot, there's the other one. The boy didn't seem to notice. This is half body. It's showing his torso up. This is fine, YouTube. This is a normal human being, chest up. This is fine. This is a guy. This is not a woman, so it's not like booba are showing or nothing. This is fine, YouTube. It's fine. But regardless, the boy didn't seem to notice him. His attention was drawn away, eyes scanning the room in strange patterns, as if looking for or tracking something that Kai couldn't see. His distraction gave the other man an opportunity to take in his appearance. Longish hair, furrowed brows, intelligent eyes. Just like Kai's roommate, there was no denying the fact that he was attractive. Unlike the lethargic Moyu, however, he had an aura of vitality about him. nearly radiating some sort of mysterious energy. Well, that's because he hasn't been screwed up yet. Maybe Moyu actually wasn't that way when he first got there. Intrigued, Kai had trouble looking away from him. He felt drawn to the boy immediately. I mean, then again, I'm suspecting this entire ward, maybe this is actually a real serious issue, and maybe Kai does have some kind of a problem, and, you know, but at the same time, the staff, you know, I get it, you know, you have tired staff and all that, but, like, there's something so suspicious going on. Mr. Song? The nurse's voice pulled Kai from his thoughts abruptly. Yes? That's all for today. You can dress back up and go back to your room. Really nice anatomy, by the way. You will find your clothes on the chair over there. Sure, thank you. Other patients are waiting, so please be quick. Not wanting to seem creepy just in case the boy noticed him, Kai threw his clothes back on and left the room without looking back. Since everything, wow, okay. This is a bit more colorful. The sun is shining down in this hallway. You know, we could see that there's brown lining it. You know, it's bland. It's bland. It's a bland place. But it definitely looks better than his room, let's be honest. But it's still not, you know, that much of an upgrade. But goddamn, the art is so pretty. Ugh! But anyway, this is good. This is really nice. Since everything went smoothly and didn't take too much time, Kai was in a good enough mood to actually take a stroll in the hospital before going back to his room. Which technically he shouldn't have. Walking around outside of the leisure time was not allowed, according to the appointed nurse. He toyed with the idea for a moment, trying to decide whether he really felt like testing the water so soon. I guess I'll just go for it. It's around 7 a.m. I can't imagine staying in that tiny room until the nurse comes back. Honestly. There's not even enough space to stretch properly. How did they expect me to stay mentally well if my physical health drops? Oh boy. Well, let's see what happens. Kai decided to go to one of the upper floors, curious about what was located up there. He took the stairs, not wanting to risk running into a nurse or a staff member in the elevator, and tried to stay out of sight as much as he could. Oh my gosh, he is sneaking around. Oh my. Nice. Let's see what's there. X-ray room, emergency. Hey, I like that there's the arrows pointing, you know, like there's clearly a sign somewhere, and it's, you know, I like that. That's cool. Emergency exit up there, terrace up there, elevators down there, patient rooms over there, and doctor's office that way. The terrace. Wow. I'm guessing it's for the hospital staff and not for the patients, but maybe I could try to go up there. Oh my gosh. Dude. It has to be a nice view of the city. The hospital is situated on an elevation. Suddenly, a pair of not too not a pair of none too gentle hands clasped over his shoulders like iron shackles. Why are you out of your room? Well, I'm not gonna. Why would you test the waters just like I'm lost? Not your business. This is an impressions video, but no, really, realistically, you know, I'm just going to lie and say I'm lost. I'm lost. I was trying to go back to my room for an examination, and I forgot the way. Really? Where were you examined? I glanced to the right, noticing a wide corridor that led to a series of doors. Over there, right around that corner. This is the restricted area. No patients are being allowed around the offices. A little liar, aren't we? Oh. Well, but my choice was, well, okay, my choice was Kai's choices, and I'm starting to realize, Kai, why would you be a butt face as well? Why would you be like, none of your business? I mean, I get, well, no, but it is their business. It is his business. Oh, Kai. There's a smoother way we could have done this, my man. Don't talk to him, Sho. They're all full of shit. But that's also not a good attitude to have. Right. Sometimes I forget these poor bastards are incapable of coherent speech. Do the honors, Zhao. Oh, no. Wait, I can explain. What are the honors? Before Kai managed to finish the sentence, the second guard smashed him against the wall. Ow! Twisting Kai's arm behind his back roughly, he yelped in shock, his eyes wide as his cheek collided with the cold, hard surface. Since I haven't seen your face around here before, I'm gonna guess that you're new, boy. Taking that into consideration, I'll go easy on you just this once. Contrary to his words, the guard proceeded to apply pressure to Kai's already aching arm as if he planned to break it. Well, I wonder what him not going easy is like then. That's kind of scary. No walking around, no snooping where you shouldn't be, no talking back. Got it? It was difficult to concentrate when Kai was afraid that his elbow could break at any time, but somehow he managed to nod. After a few moments, the guard let go. Good. We'll kindly escort you back to your room. Isn't that nice of us, Looney? Wow. Wow. He was pushed down the corridor, both guards holding him by the arms and shoulders in brushing grip. I don't think he likes the way you just called him. Too bad. That's who he is, am I wrong? And then the guard leaned in to whisper in his ear. Oh my gosh. Unstable, pathetic son of a bitch just like the rest of them. Kai clenched his teeth, furious and humiliated and wanting nothing more than to be back in his room, far away from them. The walk took much too long. Well, that's the thing. They want to keep you in your room by being scary and mean. When they finally arrived, they're never gonna... No one would ever get better here. How would they? When they finally arrived, a wave of relief washed over him. The guards pushed Kai inside the separated section where his and other rooms were located, then turned to leave. You know the way from here. You know the way from here. Move it. So I just want to mention the backgrounds. There's actually more backgrounds than I was expecting here. This is kind of cool to see. Appreciating it. Really appreciating it. We better not see you wandering around like that again. It took Kai a few moments to collect himself after the encounter. The brutality that the two men displayed was such a disproportionate measure in the light of his so-called crime. Taking a walk should never be considered as such, but that was another matter that Kai couldn't wrap his head around that Kai couldn't wrap his head around it at first, thoughts running around without a common thread. How could people be treated like this, especially those who came for help, battling their inner demons and desperately not wanting to let them win? Chu Ying. So, you're the new guy, huh? Wait, no. Wait. That would be... Give me a sec. Hey, I wasn't off. Chu Ying. So, you are the new guy, huh? Maybe. I arrived yesterday, but the news seems to travel fast. Oh yes, new arrivals are always noted. Not much to do and see around here anymore, you know. Walls have ears, especially when fresh meat is about to appear. I wouldn't want to miss any of it. The heck? You seem confused as to what just happened, so let me explain. You met the good old Shou and Zhao. Two of the most dedicated guards we have in here in Long River. Gotta give you credit. It usually takes new guys at least a couple of days to piss them off for the first time. Oh my gosh. Don't know what you did, but it probably wasn't very smart, huh? The man tapped his index finger against his chin with a strange glint in his eyes. I was about to say that you should be more careful, but on the other hand, you do you. It amuses me to see them drag a cutie around for once. And what's a broken bone or two, right? No biggie. Okay, you're screwed up, man. Who are you? Yeah, right. How rude of me not to introduce myself. Name's Chu Ying. And don't worry, we'll see each other again soon. Later, Kai. Wait. He's gone. Who the hell was that guy? Another patient, probably. Even knew my name. I guess news really does travel fast around this place. Better go to my room before another weird guy pops out of nowhere. I don't think I'm in the right mind space to deal with it. The first thing Kai noticed upon entering his room was that it didn't smell nice in there at all. The scent reminded him of his great-grandmother's mother's old bedroom, stinking of old unwashed sheets and dusty wardrobe. He really hated it each time he had to stay the night. He glanced around, confused at first. He could swear that the scent wasn't as bad yesterday, but maybe he was too tired to notice. Bedding looks different though, almost like they switched it for a dirtier one than before. He shook his head inside, profoundly tired of the weirdness he came up across until now. Bedding was something he could ignore maybe. Like yesterday, Kai's roommate was sitting on his bed, hazy eyes not focused on anything in particular, and his hands in his lap. When Kai tried to give him a little wave, Moyu turned his head the other way. Hello to you too. Not particularly upset by the lack of interest in his person, Kai moved to his own bed, noticing that something oval and black was lying on it. My backpack. I must have brought it when I was away. Finally, I'll have some spare clothing. He opened the bag, immediately grabbing a fresh t-shirt and putting it on. Much better now. I don't really remember what I have packed. A few necessities were all they allowed, but let's see. Clothes and more clothes, toothbrush, one hair comb, dictionary. Ah, I knew there was some playing cards in there. Oh my gosh, yes, pleased to have found something to idle away with. Kai sat down on the bed cross-legged and started placing the cards in front of himself. From left to right, the first one face up and to make the first pile. It'd be much more fun to play something with Moyu, but for now, solitaire will have to do. As he glanced up to where his roommate was, he thought he saw a flicker of those dark irises from his cards back to his own lap. He is somewhat interested, but still won't say a thing. Shy guy for sure. After a short moment, Kai found himself explaining half to himself and half to Moyu. It doesn't feel like you're willing to join me for a game, so I'm going to play solitaire. Unsurprisingly, Moyu didn't respond, but he furrowed his eyebrows in confusion, just a little. Possible that he doesn't know what it is? Back then, every kid my age had solitaire on their PCs or phones, but times have changed. And as if to himself, Kai started explaining the rules of the game in a non-committed voice and made sure to do everything very, very slowly, just in case. Huh. Made Kai surprisingly homesick to play with himself like that. He missed his friends, his coworkers, and even his condescending parents that refused to speak to him for months. He missed his old life and wondered if he could ever get it back. When Kai heard the door to their room click, it was almost like waking up from a trance. He was so deep in his head, all the while side-eyeing Moyu's small reactions, that he totally drifted away, losing sense of time. Leisure time, come on out. It was the first time for Kai to see his roommate actually move. Moyu raised himself on the bed tentatively and not without a certain dose of effort. Definitely not like a normal, healthy person would do. And waited for the nurse to help him up. Uh-oh. Get going. So he can't really get himself off the bed that well. If he's at least need for assistance getting up. When they got to the cafeteria, Kai was once again reminded of reminded of all the prison movies he had seen in his life. The place, sterile and dull just like the rest of the hospital, was crowded with patients, all standing in a row leading to a kitchen counter. Some were lethargic, unmoving, and indifferent to everything that happened around them. Others were restless, fidgeting, and making incomprehensible sounds as they waited impatiently for their turn. The majority, though, seemed more or less normal, just tired and bored, feeling that Kai knew his own face also mirrored. As they were waiting in line for their turn, Kai had a fleeting feeling that he heard Moyu's name being spoken. He looked around, finding a couple of nurses glancing in their direction and giggling. Yeah, what's going on? Cute, he's so cute. I know, I'm trying to catch a glimpse of him anytime I'm in this block. He has a roommate now, right? To Kai's embarrassment, it didn't end up there. Even after they got their trays and were trying to find a free table to, let's also take a look at the backgrounds. I'm sorry, because I'm going to be ending the video soon. But once again, we're seeing more colorful stuff. We're seeing, some colorful art over there. the brown of the stairs, and of course, yeah, the sterile look of the hospital otherwise, aside from those things. And then we see some green chairs. There's some blues here, though I'm not sure if those are actual blues. Um, in reference to more like, shading and, maybe how the sun plays off of things, etc. Even after they got their trays and were trying to find a free table to sit at, he caught at least a couple more nurses gossiping about his roommate, either stealing shy glances toward him or openly staring like the man who had no right to privacy at all. What the heck? I get that he's good looking, but too much is too much. Wow, that is some incredible art. Oh my gosh. I wish there was clear screen so I could also take a look at the food, but wow. Like, the color here is just bursting. Like, okay, so that really is blue in the background, and then you have, the sun coming down and kind of making this light, gentle ray around him. When they finally sat down, three other patients joining them, Kai was surprised to find the staff member still watching them from a distance. He would have expected to be given some courtesy at least while eating, but apparently not. This is just crazy. You're not eating? The food is good today. Chicken and potatoes? I like chicken and potatoes a lot. My mom used to make it every week. You should eat. Yeah, okay. The man looked happy, far happier than anyone else Kai had seen in this place so far. He addressed him as if they were best friends, like they were having a meal together like this every day. The other two patients eyed him suspiciously, stirring the porridge with their spoons without any intention of actually eating. You like chicken too? How do you like it? Grilled chicken is the best. Or maybe the fried one? Steam fried is also great. Sometimes I feel like eating Just shut up already. This one is fucked in the head. Let's go somewhere else. Why us? He's the one who should get lost. Actually, yeah, you're right. Find another table, dimwit. One more word from you and I'll lose it. And let me tell you, you won't like me when I'm angry. But I warned you. Oh my gosh. Wow. The people, please, like, I tried to ignore the conversation for as long as he could, but when it became evident that it wouldn't resolve itself from without intervention of sorts, he cleared his throat and decided to speak up. I mean, I would rather not get involved. I'd be like, "Hey Mozu, let's go this way. Let's talk over here." Okay, well, let's make one more choice for the day, and then we're going to end the video in just a bit. Easy. Let him enjoy his things. Just let him enjoy himself. This place sucks already. Why add to it? Oh, your wording, man. Now you're. Oh my gosh, you were asking to get beaten. The two patients exchanged annoyed glances but didn't say anything. They took their trays and changed tables. Oh, shoot, that actually worked. Awesome. Okay, I guess maybe they took it away that, yeah, you know what, you're right, this place does suck. I don't know. I thought he was going to get punched. I was kind of worried. When he turned his head to the side, Kai caught Moyu's eyes staring right at him. For the first time ever, his roommate actually saw him. After their lunchtime was over, one of the staff members switched on the TV. The screen wasn't particularly large when it was an entire room of people watching, but still the vast majority of patients poured into the common area, stupidly excited for a silly TV show that started playing. When Kai tried to leave, their nurse moved. Their nurse, so I guess Chen moved to stand in his way. Since this is your first, I strongly encourage you to stay and participate in the activity like everyone else. Activity? What kind of activity is that? What do you mean? This is what we do every day. Fun time. You kidding me? No wonder the patients are so out of touch with everything if the staff doesn't even make any effort to engage them. There's some space in the back corner of the room. All seats are taken, so we'll have to stand. Let's go. Wow. Without a say in the matter, Kai and Moyu were ordered next to each other. Ordered next to each other at the very end of the common area, right next to the back door. Kai's dismay, the nurse didn't leave them alone. Didn't leave them alone even then. Okay, no, I did read that correctly. standing behind Moyu with his arms crossed and a semi-permanent frown like a tired bodyguard. This is what they call leisure time? Seriously? Back already aches. Darting a quick glance toward his roommate, Kai could only guess that he felt even worse. It wasn't like Moyu showed much, keeping his posture straight and proper despite the strain, but Kai just knew he could feel his discomfort. After a couple of minutes, 3 staff members entered the room and through the back door, taking the place next to the nurse. It wasn't long until one of them leaned toward Chen and started talking to him in a hushed voice. Do you have, you know what? You promised you'll get it by today. Yeah, it's in my office. Later, all right? When? I was trying to find you all morning. Later. Later is later. It'll be done today, as promised. What were they talking about? Somehow it didn't sound like a conversation meant for his ears. Okay, later then. I'll drop by before your shift's over. What is she looking? What does she want? I glanced in the direction just in time to see the woman shuffling closer to Moyu, standing half behind and half next to him. And what do we have here? And then, as if it was perfectly natural to do such a thing, she smoothed a hand over the side of Moyu's head, running her fingers through his hair all the way up to his ear. What a pretty boy. Is his hair dyed or what? Ooh, there is something going on at this place. Who would dye it? It's naturally this way. Huh. Stupefied, Kai could almost feel his eyebrows shooting all the way up to his forehead. Gossiping was one thing, but to actually touch him? Moyu, elegantly motionless, as if frozen in time, didn't show any signs of noticing the pejorative treatment. His gaze was directed to the opposite side of the room, where a row of long, small windows was placed just under the ceiling. The hand withdrew and the woman leaned back against the wall, as if already forgetting all about it. She started talking with Chen about the hardships of her job, chirping nonsense that Kai had no interest in. The place is just messed up. When they were finally allowed back to their rooms, Kai was more than ready to call it a day. All right, so let's stop the impressions there. First impressions, I am hooked. It is, so I've played the game for an hour. Of course, it would be 30 minutes without my talking and everything. 30 minutes or 20 minutes for the average fast reader. Maybe even 15 for the fastest reader. But wow. This is good. They've presented first. It's really cool. It's really cool. Let's take these 2 minutes to discuss this as fast as I can. So, one, the art is really awesome. The backgrounds are awesome. The character designs are really pretty. Wow. 2, they slowly pull you in. They slowly go something's wrong. Something's wrong with the way things are. The detective and how he's oh, there was nothing on the camera showing that. And then the director and how it's oh, well, I believe what, you believe, right? Which, we all know that. And then, then you have Nurse Chen, who, from the way he is, and then the way he talks to Mozu, okay, or Moyu, that, something's wrong. And then this nurse, actually, no, the security guards, it's okay, wow, they're really brutal. And then this nurse that we just saw, this NPC nurse, just touching him. What the heck? Not even a, hey, can I see your hair or anything? When you are doing nursing, and this is why there was such a big call to attention on that. You have to ask permission before you touch or do anything with a patient, because they could have, it could be a culture. You could make a problem in terms of culture, where someone is not allowed to be touched by, whatever, right? You can't touch them under any terms without their permission. It could be an issue of, personal space. It could be an issue of anything, personal, culture, even, infection control. But there's a lot going on, and it slowly pulls you in. The music got really tense there. I like how the music plays into what's going on really well. This is awesome. This is really awesome. Glass Hearts is very awesome, and now I am insanely hooked. I want to keep going, but alas, it has now been an hour. So that is my impressions on Glass Hearts, and I really, really, really enjoy it. I cannot wait to play more, and you know, I don't know what I'll do for the future. I don't know if I'll do a like a playthrough. I'll just keep playing, maybe record for 30 minutes or an hour. I don't even know about skipping, like, with Banana Ranch, I'll skip around because there's like grinding and all that stuff here. But with this kind of game, like, every bit of text feels, well, like, yeah, like it feels just all important somehow, and I want to, like, it feels fun to read all of this, right? So if anyone is interested in just seeing a playthrough of this, then I would be down to do it. I think I would change it to about 30 minutes, at least on the weekdays. If I do it on the weekdays, on the weekends I could probably do it, half an hour, 40 minutes, or an hour. That depends on everyone's preferences. Since it's a visual novel, I imagine it wouldn't be so bad to do an hour, especially if you're like someone who likes to study on the side, have a voice talking at the same time, or even maybe you're playing a video game and you like to have things on the side, look over every now and then. That depends on you. Um, and yeah, like overall, that we'll see if there's any interaction in the comments with that. If there's not, fine. Leave a like if you've seen this video. If you watch this video, likes will really help getting this game noticed. I'm not doing this for myself. I've been asked to out of generosity to stream or play through or anything. So likes will help Glass Hearts get noticed. I really don't have no time for my channel. I'm going to be honest. I really don't. I'm insanely busy. I have a test coming up next week. I have some important stuff coming up this week. So, and I gotta mentally prepare for that stuff that's coming up this week. But regardless, I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely check out Glass Hearts if this interested you already. Then I'm sure I have a feeling that quality will remain throughout, because it feels really like, just feels tense, like, whoa, like I need to know what's gonna happen. I want to click so badly, I want to continue, but alas, I have to return to my studies. So yeah, I hope you all have a good day, and peace out. Don't forget to give a like, subscribe if you want, because I definitely think I will upload more pertaining to this, whether it's a playthrough or whether it's a full review. I just play through everything and then give it a review and whatnot. All right, so I hope you all have a good day. See ya.